It starts with colleagues. It starts with people here at conferences. Network. They must join your network. SGB associations, past parents, past SGB chairs, community organizations. Many different people should come into your network because they are a source of information. The union, of course, it's a source of information. It keeps you ahead. If you don't have a network, you don't have as much knowledge and information and foresight. So the bigger your network, the more you have in terms of connections, the more you will actually know where you stand today. Even in terms of politics and transformation, people in your network who can give you insight into what's going on. Resources, they also help with resources, both physical and intellectual. I've had many teachers join my school from other provinces simply because I have a network of principals in other provinces who, when someone's leaving another province, they say, well, contact part-time girl. But that's because it's our network and they need a job, and we've got some good people by that means. Also, there's support. If you need to say what's not working so well in your school and you need a little bit of help, these are the people you can talk to, rather than in your school, because if you talk in your school, you're depressing other people in the school who you're supposed to be supporting. So your network can be your support, and that can be SGB, past people, union people, fellow principals. Use them. Okay. Then I've got SGB and other stakeholders. Well, it's everybody. It's the SGB, it's parents' committees, it's past students, it's present students, it's the community, it's the GDE. All of those people are stakeholders. And we have to work together. If I could emphasize the importance of your SGB, don't let it be a random thing. It comes election night and people just jump up from the floor and stand. Work with the current SGB to source people who have the time and expertise to help you. Let your SGB people go and approach parents. I contact primary schools because on our records we ask, were people involved in SGB in primary school? And they will say it on their application form. Then I will phone the principal of the school and say, this parent says that they were on your SGB. Were they good people? Were they helpful people? And if they were, we immediately ask, would they be interested in coming along? So it's not just a random thing. You cannot let this be random. You have to. You can have, you've got different numbers depending on primary and high, but you need sufficient number of really useful SGB members. And you need to be part of finding them. Don't let it just happen, because a bad SGB will ruin the school. I've been really fortunate. I've had wonderful SGB chairpersons. I'm immensely grateful. And I still have contact with those that I can still have contact with. And they are in my network and bring other people into the network. The community is important for two ways. Sometimes you want the community to utilize your facilities so that it becomes a place of the community. You can even get income from it. But also they see the school in action. On other occasions you need to draw from the community. You need to draw from organizations in the community that can help the school with various kinds of resources. Again, human resources and physical resources. The GDE. Yes, we have an ambivalent relationship with the GDE, but it is really important to establish good relationships with key people. You've got to be able to relate well to key people. The IDSO is probably the most important if you can get a good relationship, and it may take time to develop. But again, you want the GDE officials to be on your side and to speak for you and to motivate things in the office. So you do need to. But it is a challenge sometimes, but we cannot be at war all the time. Frequently we are, I'm afraid, but I would wish it were otherwise. I did have an IBSO once, and she said to me that when she got to the school gates, you know, she felt sick. And that was interesting to note. It happened to be a white lady, so it wasn't a cultural thing or anything like that, and she was part of the old TED even. But she was not a principal. She came out of psychology. She was one of the psychologists when they shut down the psychological support services as a unit. So she got deployed. So she felt very inadequate in this deployed role of hers. And so we had to explore it, and eventually when she retired, we were good friends, and we got on very well together. But it was something that had to be worked at. So consider that as something that really needs to be high on the priority. Okay, support. This again, all of these are so important. Supports care and grow. Support doesn't mean just, yes, you know, loving them all and giving them time off and helping them babysit their children because they've got things. And I know there are some principals who do babysit other teachers' children. That's really good and beyond the call of duty. But there are circumstances where it might be merited. But our job is to care and grow. It's to take care but grow. And grow, it's what we do with our children as well. We care, but we want them to grow and develop and mature. And it doesn't happen by just stroking them all the time. It does mean having those expectations. It does mean demanding something from them. Yes. So it's not a simple thing. You've got to get the balance between care and the caring and the growing. And it applies to the learners as well. And I'm not talking much about learners today, it's just too big a topic to put in. But one of the really important things, we do care and grow our learners. But in this caring and growing, can we do our best to avoid win-lose situations? It's worse in high school, I think, because they just get stronger in their own character. And they can't lose. And so you don't want teachers or yourself to have to go to battle with a learner. And we had an issue where a girl did bad things to her hair and realized she had done bad things to her hair, and so decided to shave it all off. Which the deputy in charge of uniform decided really was a serious infringement of the disciplinary code because it was an extreme hairstyle. It was an extreme hairstyle. It wasn't for cultural reasons. And again, it was a white girl, and so shaving for cultural reasons is not a thing. Nor was it for cancer promotion or whatever. But I personally wouldn't have gone to war on that one. But it was my deputy's portfolio, and she had got herself in a real, state about this. It was really important to her. So I had to live with it, and I had to support her. And I had to chat to the offending learner. And we had the old girls on the website, the old ones and the medium old ones, and they were all on our old girls' website, all about this issue, etc., etc. It was such a big thing. So it's better not to go into a battle. It's just better. So we don't work with punitive discipline in our school. We have what we call restorative discipline, but that's another whole topic for another day. Maybe that is a topic for a conference, Tinas. This whole notion of restorative discipline. Where you work on relationships, you keep the relationship intact. Because if it's a win-lose, you lose the relationship. And if the relationship's gone, learning doesn't happen. So that's another day's big topic. Okay, the other aspect of support is professional development. I'm fanatical about professional development. I've been principal for about 25 years. I've always, it's been excessive, if some might say, comparison with other schools. But I do believe it is what has kept Parktown's results as they are. Our learners are different. They come in with different abilities, different knowledge. They're not what Parktown had 20 years ago. Teachers have to teach differently. And if they don't get upskilled, newly skilled, they don't have the resources to teach learners that are different from the ones that they had 20 years ago. So they go on teaching them as they did 20 years ago, and it doesn't work. So we have worked really hard on how to teach better, how to engage learners. Engagement is the key, and a few other things, including the relationship aspect. So a lot of professional development, and I do believe that's what's helped us. And we've got structures and systems for this, which include mentorship, which include induction programs, and even a buddy system for new teachers. Also, when you care and grow, the place has to be conducive to learning. So you have to work hard. Is this a nice place to go to work? Now, I'm very fortunate in our school grounds and our buildings even. It's cold, like most schools. We do our best with that. But is it clean? Is it tidy? Is there enough of what meets teachers' basic needs, children's basic needs, that they feel good about it? I read somewhere that the context dictates the behavior. And I've noticed that we've got a really nice area where the tricks are only allowed to go and it's pretty and all the rest. They don't make a mess there. Because the context is saying it's too nice, we don't want to spoil it. But the hockey field, the big open hockey field with trees that drop horrible little twigs all over the place, it's not as pleasant. No, there's no problem with dropping things away. So the context, it dictates behavior. So if your classroom is nice, your classroom, it dictates your behavior. If you've got broken windows, broken chairs, graffiti things, it dictates the behavior of the kids and the teachers. There needs to be pride in that. So that goes with climate and environment, which I don't want to go into. Obviously, if you're supporting teachers, you need to be organized. I'm not going into a whole thing about planning and organizing. But you need structure so that your school is organized. It's pretty obvious, because it's part of